and we are back once again with another live stream. Really happy to see you guys already here. And if you haven't, be sure to answer the poll that I already just put up and everything. But yeah, happy Friday, guys. Really happy to see you guys here. You already know the drill for most of you that are the usuals. If you have a question, be sure to drop it down below and I'll be happy to answer it. But yeah, hope everyone's Friday's going pretty well and everything. Yeah, guys, start asking away. We already got a few people who answered the poll, and so far everyone would rather work in extreme heat than in extreme cold, and I'm kind of the same way. Jorge, hey, how's it going, man? Nice to see you here, man. Jeez, that's cool, man. You already know, bro. Drop a question if you. I already know you don't have questions, but man, if you have a question, drop it, bro. All right, guys. As you guys start to join into the live stream, be sure to ask any questions that you may have, whether it's about starting out as a mechanic, whether it's about tools, tips, tricks, advice you need on your car, on your project car, on your project lawnmower, whatever it may be. Be sure to go ahead and drop it down below. Mexico Soldier says, what's up, Garrett Brian? Hey, how's it going, man? Hey, we have another Brian in here. So how's it going? How's it going, Brian? That's really cool. You never really see another Brian with a Y in it, other than, you know. So it's really cool to see another Brian here. But yeah, guys, all right. Go ahead and start asking your questions. Start typing up them keyboards and also answer the poll as well. Be sure to answer the poll. So far, we have a few people who answered it, and it is 75% of people would rather work in extreme heat. So that's very interesting. Yeah, really nice to see you here again, Brian. That's really cool. But yeah, so far 75% or 67%, it just dropped. Some people would rather work in the extreme cold, which kind of mind blows me. But yeah, guys, start dropping them questions. So far, we have 10 people that voted in the chat for the poll, and I'm glad they're kind of leaning with what I would rather do. I'd rather work in the heat. It's just more doable. When you're working the extreme cold, you really can't feel your hands. I don't know, for the people who are preferring the cold, I don't know about you guys, but when I can't feel my hands at all, it's a no-go. So I'd rather be burning up in the heat. But guys, start dropping them questions, especially you, Brian, you, Jorge, you know, all you guys start dropping them iconic questions. I'm really excited to see what you guys have in store. Don't mind my daughter. She's playing with some games, so fun stuff. But yeah, guys, start dropping them questions. Really hope everyone's doing well. If you guys don't have any questions just yet, I'll go ahead and start answering some questions that I already have preset over here. But yeah, so be sure to start doing that. Condenser, PAG oil, ETs, the whole thing. What's your question about it though, Mexa Soldier? Condenser, PAG oil, ETS, the whole thing. What do you mean by that? But yeah, guys, if you don't have any questions, I'll start answering some questions I already have stored in the top of my noggin. But yeah, if let's just see if we get any more in the chat, and if not, I'll go ahead and start answering the pre questions that I got that I remember. Hey, how's it going, EELK? Really nice to see you here, man. And shouldn't they try to cheapest solution first? What are you referring to? Wait, hold on. I'm trying to understand your comment. Yeah, I'm not understanding your question, my boy. If you can, definitely re-ask it. All right, guys, so I'm going to start answering the iconic questions that I get asked all the time in the chat. And essentially, oh, wait. But I tried to follow a diagnostic for GEAC stopped working. I tried to follow a diagnostic for... Are you trying to say you're... Okay. I mean, if your AC stopped working, the best thing that you can do, essentially, sorry, but the best thing that you can do essentially is go to the hardware store or the hardware store, auto store, go ahead and get essentially the dye solution. You're going to want to fill your, the system with that dye, and then you'll be able to see essentially where the leak is, if there is any leak, or if it's just an electronic thing and that's why you're not getting AC. I found out only my condenser is leaking. Like, you find out visually your condenser's leaking, or what's the case? Guys, as you start dropping in, be sure to drop any questions that you may have. Again, if it's about mechanics, it's about your own car. If it's about AC, like, my boy has right here. If it's about, getting your dream project car, what project car is good for you? What tools I recommend, what tools you are debating between. If it's a scanner, if it's not a scanner, if it's a tool brand, if it's not a tool brand. Whatever it may be sure to go ahead and drop that question down below, and I'll be happy to answer it. Dead Dollar says, any thoughts on suspension parts from Rock Auto? Got ball joints and tie rods for my 4x4 Tacoma. Suspension, I believe I've used them one time. I think it was for, outer tie rod ends. And I don't have any complaints from them. From the cars that they were on, they never, they didn't go out really quick or anything. So, I mean, so far, in my opinion, suspension is pretty decent. So, yeah, I mean, I'd say go ahead and try it, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, go ahead and try it. I love Rock Auto. Rock Auto just has so many ranges of parts for you to get. So, honestly, Rock Auto, I don't think I've had a bad part from Rock Auto. Even the cheapest of the cheap, I've never had a very bad part from Rock Auto, in my opinion. Everybody in the chat can, say it down below how their experience has been with, any bad parts from Rock Auto. But generally, I haven't had any bad parts from Rock Auto. Victor says, hi, Brian. I really enjoy your content. Greetings from a Spanish lawyer who likes wrenching. Hey, man, that's really good. Cool that you love the content, and it's really cool that you're a lawyer and you love working on cars. So that's pretty awesome, man. Appreciate you enjoying my videos. EELK says, I have a question. I got a Golf 7 GTI. It's chipped to a stage 1 and DSG stage 2. What is best to change oil? So are you saying when is best to change oil? Or what is the best oil to change to? Kind of elaborate on it. If you're saying when's the best time to change oil, as frequently as possible. Especially for a more modified vehicle like that, I'd say at least every 3 to 4K, in my opinion. That's generally what everyone, with a very modified car generally does. Mexico Soldier says, yeah, I use dye. My own diagnostic seems to be to replace just the condenser and put new R134. Why would the mechanic try to sell me the whole system? Generally, why is because, so when one part fails, let's say there's a whole AC system, right? You replace this one part that's bad, right? When you replace that part and put a brand new part, it kind of puts more how do I say it? The rest of the system can generally go bad down the line. So it's like if you fix one part of the braking system, then the other braking, if you only change one brake line instead of the other brake lines, now the other rusted brake lines might boom, because you have one good brake line and a brand new caliper and all this other crap, and then the other brake line will break. So if they're trying to sell you the entire AC system or whatever it may be, or if they're trying to change the O-rings and all the other stuff, it's generally because if one part in the AC system fails and it's a very old car, they generally want to go down to all the other bases so you don't go back and forth. Generally, that's what most shops do. If they'll quote you the entire AC system, so they're not going boom, 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 boom when the rest of the system starts to fail. That's generally what I've seen and generally what I hear. All right, so Rock Auto, yes, is king. AJ says, yo, Brian, what up, my guy? Became a subscriber because of your YouTube shorts. You are so good. I got a question for you. AJ, go ahead and start asking it. I'm happy to answer it for you, and I'm glad you became a subscriber. AJ Larson, man, how's it going, bro? He says, hey, Brian, good to see you and everyone in the chat. Thank you for sharing all the great content. No problem, man. I'm really happy to see you in the chat, man. Thanks for joining another live stream. Happy to see you here. Happy to see you, Brian, as well. Happy to see you, Conservative Sniper. Really awesome to see you back in the chat as well. Conservative Sniper says, these 15-inch long Vice grips come in 15, 45, and 90-degree head. Yeah, they're pretty, I love vice grips. They always come in very, you know, awesome things, sizes. Okay, Mexican Soldier says, my question is, do you think the mechanic is trying to scam me or sell me a more expensive solution instead of just replacing the condenser and putting in R134? It depends, again. Sometimes there are some shops that just try to upsell you completely. However, there's some more experienced mechanics that see, like, let's say if it's 1989 Toyota Corolla and you only fix one thing, generally it can be like, it can what's it called, snowball into a lot of other problems. So sometimes they're just generally trying to look out for you, so you're not coming in and out of the shop, especially when you have novice like customers. They're like, you fixed my AC and now it's broken again. You know, sometimes you're trying to avoid you coming back and forth for a problem that might occur. You know what I mean? Because to normal people, when their car breaks down after they fixed it recently, they just blame the mechanic. But generally, if they only fix one small part, they'll be coming back down the road later. So sometimes we'll just recommend the whole thing so you won't have a headache and they won't have a headache. That's generally how it goes. No problem, EELK. Oh, I have a lot of questions. My bad, guys, if I'm not getting to your questions quick enough. I'm just trying to read them as they come in. As you guys join in, be sure to drop a question and I'll answer it as quick as I can. But Alex Smith says you could change your oil every 10K with no problem. Sure you can. It depends too if your car burning oil. Yeah, it really depends on if you're burning oil. But for people who don't touch their car, if they're not a car guy, I recommend changing your oil as quick as possible. Because if there is an oil leak, if there is anything that's a problem, you're going to find it in the next oil change. If you wait so long, you know, if you wait all the way till 10K, I had somebody skip their oil change, went like 4,000 over, and their engine started knocking. Why? Because generally when they get their oil changed, they avoided them running out of oil. There was an oil leak. Obviously, it went undiagnosed, but that's just one of those things. So the more frequent, the better, especially with modified cars, especially if you are burning oil or if you are leaking oil. Pit Snipe says, I've gotten a bad part from Rock Auto, but I have bought the wrong tier of the part for my customers' driving habits, conditions. Rock Auto's tiered listings are wonderful. They really are. They have really the cheapest option, and they have a mid-tier, and then they have, name brand or OEM or OE parts. So it's really cool. Hey, Brian, love Rock Auto parts. Really awesome to hear, Dr. E. Really cool to have you back in the live stream. Alex Smith, everybody just assumes free K. It's not true. Yeah, no, we generally don't assume free K. It's just nicer for more modified cars or people that generally don't take care of their cars. It's just the best thing to do. 3 to 5K is generally the rule. Garrett Bryan, sup, do you have any good experience with AC filling kits? If so, what do you recommend DIY to use them? What do you mean by the AC filling kits? All right, let me kind of scroll up to the more recent stuff. Yo, Brian, can you grab the camera for a Lamar Jackson edit? What do you mean? Grab the camera like this? You're gonna do an edit of me or something? I'm grabbing the camera right now. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if that helped you out, but Mark J. Larson says, I changed the PCV valves in 3 trucks today and much more maintenance coming up. I love quick tips and tool shorts. So you have the best. Wait, you have made me a better mechanic. Yay! That's really awesome to hear, man. I'm really glad I'm helping you out a lot. That's really awesome, bro. Conservative Sniper says, best to take your car to a good mechanic to fill your air conditioning system. Keep away from these fill bottles at the auto store. I'm actually gonna make a DIY video for that. If you're really on a tight budget, you're not, you don't have money to take it to a mechanic and you're really just trying to get by, I'm gonna make and post a shorts video on that. Of course, it's what we did back in the day when we couldn't afford to bring it to a mechanic. So I'm just gonna kind of show you the technically ghetto way to refill your AC system. So I'll be putting out a video about that most likely tomorrow. All right. Our off-brand injectors okay to use on a 2012 Chevy Impala. I generally would recommend going OE, but Chevy sometimes not as like particular on their OE, on having OEM. But if you can, I'd rather go OEM. I'd say go OEM or just don't go the absolute dog water cheapest, Salutations from CA. Awesome, man. Happy to have you here. How critical is it as a oil low level light? Very critical. You do not want a very low level oil light. That's no bueno. Should I get a GX100? They're pretty cool, so I definitely highly recommend you getting one. Here, 1 second, guys. Hi. How's it going? Hi, how's it going? Hey. Here, 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Hi, beautiful. All right, brief intermission. Be sure to keep dropping down your comments below. I'll be right back. Love you all. Hi, I'm back here. Come here. All right, guys, I'm back. My daughter woke up from a brief nap, so yeah. Okay, guys, I like your short videos. Thanks, man. Brake fluid every 5 years. Generally, I would check. I wouldn't wait. I don't know. That's a little. For brake fluid, I don't do a time duration. I mainly do it by the looks. If it's really dirty, flush that out and put brand new brake fluid, guys. You do not want very old brake fluid in your system. It's no go. PC says my car won't start. Hey, give me more context, PC. What's wrong with the child? My daughter is wanting to. She was hungry, but she woke up from a nap. She was hungry, so don't worry. She's all good. Did you rub mama's feet? And what? When I tied in my lug nuts on my truck, it rubs on my tire. Is there a longer impact lug nut to use? Wait, what? When I tied in my lug nuts on my truck, it rubs on my tires. What? Wait, what? How would it rubs on your tires? I'm not sure what you're meaning by that. How's that possible? Where did you learn to become a mechanic? I learned to become a mechanic by various different routes, my friend. So let me tell you a story. I've learned from very different avenues. The first one was I started at a very young age working on cars because of my dad. We had a car that was essentially a project car. Oh, I don't have it here. Essentially a project car, and it wasn't running. It was essentially my first car. It was a parts car. It was 1989 Toyota Corolla. I had to get it running. Me and my dad got it running, and ever since then, me and him were I was working on the car and doing my own maintenance. I didn't have money back then. I was a little bit poor, and I couldn't send the car to a mechanic. I had to learn to work on it. So me and my dad worked on it together, and then little by little, I was doing all this maintenance, myself. So I learned that route just by doing at a young age, working on a project car I had that was technically my first car and a daily. Then eventually I kept working on cars, my friends' cars, my cars, family's cars, whatever, and I gained experience little by little. And then I went to schooling route as well. So I started as a loop tech. So, I started the normal route that I just told you. I started as an automotive technician. I was at, Sears back in the day. I was working at Sears as a loop tech. Worked my way up, started doing alignments, brakes, stuff like that. Then I went to schooling route. So I went to automotive school, did my stuff there, learned hands-on and book and everything. While I was there, I was at a mechanic shop as an apprentice, worked alongside some good techs, learned from my uncle, who's a master mechanic, from my dad's dad, who is a very good master mechanic. And I just learned from so many different avenues, from being an apprentice, from a lube tech, working on my own cars, from schooling, working at a shop, just all mixed from different avenues. So there's plenty of different avenues to learn from. Dr. E says, oh, really appreciate it, Dr. E, for saying I'm an amazing dad. Appreciate it. What's up, Brian? It's Matt Whitey from high school. Yeah, I remember you, man. Sorry I was a dick about your stitches all those years ago. Glad you're doing well. Really cool to see you, man. I did not recognize you from the name. I mean, from the Cora name. But really cool to have you back after all the years. That was fucked up back in the day. But yeah, no, it's all good, bro. Really glad that you joined the live stream, man. I hope you're doing good and that your kid and everything's doing really good. And yeah, man, definitely got to catch up sometime. PC says it's a Honda Pilot. PC, let me see if you dropped any. My car won't start. What's going on, PC? Why won't it start? Like, is it no crank? Is it crank no start? Does it crank at all? Does it try to crank? Does it click? Does it make noise when it cranks? Like, give me more information. Jay says, thanks for all the help with your shorts videos. Respect to you, buddy. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Roman says, where can I find service manuals for my car? Also, I have heard you say that... Oh, wait. That oil is a good penetrating oil. Are there any alternatives? Where can I find service manuals for my car? I mean, I hate to say it. Google is definitely your best friend. There's this one website that I used to go all the time. I forgot. But Google's going to be your best friend. Google, ChatGPT, some of the AI browsers are going to be your best friend. I just don't know it off the top of my head. But those are going to be your best friends for that. For penetrating oil, PB Blaster is a good penetrating oil. Liquid Wrench is a good penetrating oil. If you want alternatives that's not a penetrating oil but works just as good, using transmission oil, so ATF, mixed with acetone, the best type of oil. Penetrating oil. It really penetrates really good. So honestly, highly recommend it. You could use regular engine oil, but it doesn't work as good. But if you have nothing at all, it works better than nothing. So yeah. Yeah, Chilton's and Haynes manuals are great. How often should we flush the brake system? Honestly, every time you do for the DIY people or whatever, every time, if you see at the master cylinder, it's just really dark, change it. If you're doing your brakes, again, and you notice it's dark, change it. If you did, let's say, this is your second, I want to say every couple of years. I want to say every 3 years. Generally, you'll want to change it. Brake fluid doesn't go bad that quick. However, generally you'll start to notice when it's getting dirty, by the color of it. You do not want very dark fluid. It wants to be light. Very light, very clear. I changed starter, new battery, and still no start, but it cranks. If it cranks, it's not going to be the battery. It's not going to be the starter for sure. If it cranks, it's not the starter. Yeah, PC, you're going to have to message me on Instagram. Message me a video of your car not starting. Of you trying to crank it over, and I could help you. I'm not going to be able to help diagnose completely, over in the chat, So message me a video on Instagram, and I'll get to it. Brian says, I just recently put in LED lights in my car, and now my light in my dash for my lights is on. Why is this? I put LED lights in my car, and now my light in my dash. What light? Wait. The light in my dash for my lights is on. Oh, are you talking about the light for the headlights? If the lights for the headlights is on, it's because you might have wired it to the headlights, the headlight circuit, and that's why it's, you're kind of messing with that circuit. So I think that's what happened. If you're talking about the headlight light being on, that's what's going on. You might have wired it into the wrong circuit. All right. Would you say it's too late to learn how to fix cars for a job if you're in your 30s? No, it's not too late. By all means, go for it, man. If you're in your 30s, learn. It's never too late to learn. If you learned at a young age, obviously, that's cool and it helps, But no, you're never too late to learn, especially in your 30s. Go for it, I know plenty of people who just started in their 30s and they're great mechanics now, So go for it, man. Brian, I'm scared to change the transmission oil on my 03 Odyssey. I think it's original. How many miles is it out of? Because Yeah, if it's really high up there in mileage, you might as well just leave it. Unless it's already slipping and your transmission's acting up, then go for it. But if it's not acting up, don't touch it. Don't touch it. And Andre says, hi from Brazil, man. How's it going? Junior says, I'm planning to become a mechanic, but is it worth it? That's a big question for everyone. In my opinion, for flat rate, no. For flat rate mechanic, no. It's not. In my opinion, it's not worth it. But being a mechanic, I think it's worth it. It's a good skill to know. You know, being a mechanic helps you think outside the box for many things. So, you know, I am a mechanic, but for many other things, I'll problem solve. So, for example, the lights in my house are something not working, or the computer, or my seat's broken, and this is, in general, it's really good skill to have because it'll make you think outside the box, and you'll start to realize you'll fix lots more to things that are not a car. But, you know, is it worth it being a mechanic? I'd say, you know, I like it, I enjoy it. I'm able to fix my own cars. I'm able to fix my fiance's cars, my dad's car, you know, anything. I'm never, you know, I like it. I just love being capable of doing things like this. If you enjoy working on cars, do it. You know what I mean? A lot of people enjoy working on cars. Then when they become a mechanic, they realize this is not for me, or they realize I hate doing it. I love working on my own car, not other people's cars. So it's up to you. All right, let me make sure I didn't. There's a lot of questions. I want to make sure I get it. How do you feel about mechanic versus technician? So, like, in my opinion, the term technician has evolved, because back then, an automotive technician, at least in my area, meant you were a lube tech, you know? And that's how it was back then. Automotive technician, you were a lube tech, you know? You were doing oil, you know, you're pretty much doing oil changes, tire rotations, you were changing tires, you're doing tire repairs. If they were nice to you at the shop, they'd let you do brakes. If they were really nice to you, they'd let you do alignments, but not really, you know, that's mainly the mechanic stuff. But automatic technician, that's what it was back then, you know. So, and you know, batteries, you do batteries, you do, you know, TPMS sensor reprograms, stuff like that. That's what it meant back then. At least where you know, in my area, that's how it was. A mechanic was everything else. Mechanic was problem solving. Mechanic was diagnostic. Mechanic was electrical diagnostics. Mechanic was changing the clutch, doing an alignment, changing the brakes, changing the control arms, changing the suspension. That's what a mechanic was back then for me. Now it has evolved. Apparently, you know, technicians are more diagnostics and this and that. I don't know. It seems that's what it is now. Because a lot of people, that's what a lot of people say. So if you guys have a different, if that's the definition for you guys, tell me down below that you agree. If that's not the definition, tell me. Yo, my guy, love the videos. Let me ask what's the best way to replace, what? Wait. Hey, not W50. Can you re-ask that? I'm a little confused. Paul's 2 Reviews says, be sure to drop a like for Brian. Thank you, man. Paul's 2 Review knows what's up. And hey, it's really nice to have you back in the stream, Paul's 2 Review. Speaking of which, let me grab my charger, because I don't want to lose you guys, you know? So let me grab this baby. Oh, hold on, 1 second. Okay. All right, I want to make sure I don't lose you guys. You look like Obama. That's wild. Maybe if I had my hair cut, but I don't know about looking like Obama now. It's crazy. TGIF. How do I get my wife to what? To go into labor? What? That's quite a question. Tell her you bought another project car. There you go. Hi, Brian. Aaron says, hi, Brian. Tips and tricks for using torque wrench in tight places. You know, in my opinion, like, this is not the best tip, but I mean, it's something. They have angled torque wrenches now. So they have torque wrenches that are flex head joints. So I'd recommend getting one of those. They're not too expensive. They're generally around like $70 to $150. You can get them from Ulsa Tools, from Icon, from Harbor Freight, from Capri Tools. So a bunch of different places sell them nowadays. So you really can't go wrong. They also sell adapters for some torque wrenches. So yeah, there's that. Naptown Ninja says, love your videos. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Do you work at, Johnny says, do you work as a mechanic as a job, or are you just an automotive YouTuber? A lot of videos make great tips and all great tips all the time. Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. I work as a mechanic as a job. It is my occupation. I work at 5 days a week nowadays. But yeah, so, you know, I work at 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I used to be a mechanic and a mobile mechanic as well. So 5 days a week, I'd work my regular job, and then after work, I would work as a mobile mechanic. However, ever since I dropped that, you know, especially because of my daughter, and now I'm mainly just mechanic and YouTube, you know? So yeah, so that's pretty much what I do. You know, all these things that I'm teaching you and these videos are real life experiences that I have dealt with. So there you go. I've seen it all. L says, your channel really has saved me. Man, I started working as a maintenance technician, and some of your tricks really helped me. Really awesome to help, man. It's really cool, bro. Like Obama. Oh, like Obama. I'm dead. Aaron says, okay, wait. I messed up. No problem, Aaron. Do you have to drop the exhaust to change the transmission filter? I don't know. I've never worked on a Chevy Avalanche, but, you know, most of the time, sometimes they have exhausts that are in the way. So if it's in the way, then of course you have to. Okay, so Michael says, will a Pittsburgh half-inch torque wrench be good for replacing a motor and transmission mounts on a 2013 Ford Escape? Yeah, it'll be perfect. It'll be perfectly fine. So yeah, go ahead and use it. By all means, use it. Dead Dollar says, why does my Tacoma idle fast after driving a while? Idle's normal after a few seconds. Could it be the coolant level? I'd say once the car is really cold, check the coolant level, make sure it's not too low. Sometimes when you have a car that's low on coolant, at least in my Toyotas I've seen, once you get the car really up to temperature, it'll start idling irregularly. It'll go like, you know, it'll be weird. So I'd say check the coolant level, in my opinion. I've never worked on a Tacoma, but I'm just giving you food for thought. So yeah. Any tips for starting as a mobile mechanic? I've been doing it for about 6 months, and I feel kind of stuck with my client base. So honestly, when it comes to mobile mechanic, word of mouth, if you already know, is the best thing. You really want to talk to your customers, treat your customers really good to the point where they'll recommend you to other customers. So that's the name of the game, word of mouth. Now, I know a lot of you might not be into the influence thing, but start recording your work as a mobile mechanic. Start posting your work, record your work, post your work, give tips, stuff like that. And it'll, you know, it'll start pushing your thing out to other people who need work done on their car, who want, you know, need a mobile mechanic, whatever it may be. But I'd recommend, you know, whatever your business name it is, make that your channel name, and then start posting about stuff like that. And then ask around, ask your friends, ask your family, ask the neighborhood, ask your neighbors for work. Be like, hey, do you know anybody who need work? Here's my card. You know, you see somebody nearby, give them your card. Get a card, have it ready, have it in your wallet, and that's the best advice I could give for trying to get, you know, grow your client base. I'm in the UK, so the only problem I have is some of the tool brands you use aren't accessible here. Damn, I'm really sorry about that, Johnny. Carlos Fuentes says, you are awesome, bro. I love your videos. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, bro. All right, before I continue answering these questions, the poll has about 145 votes. And everybody, so far, 55% of people would rather work in extreme heat. You guys are smart. And 45% would rather work in the cold. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. You guys are crazy. For extreme cold, I hate it because my hands will become frozen. I won't be able to feel them. And then I you know, I can't work on a car. You know, it's just like, It's just no-go. You know, I've worked in negative-degree weather, and it's horrendous because you really can't feel my hands. I don't care about being cold myself. That sucks being cold. But not being able to feel my hands is another story, man. That's just... Whew. Or your feet. Oh, my God. Forget about it. All right. Patrick says, subscribe from Ireland. A lot of your tips is very useful on cars I work on. That's really cool, man. I'm really happy to hear that. All right. I'm trying to catch up to all the comments. There's a lot of comments, guys. Guys, be sure to drop your comments down below of any questions they may have. I'm sorry if I haven't gotten to it. If I haven't gotten to it, I'll try to make sure I, scroll up and see you. If I don't, you might have to re-ask it, just copy and paste it again. So I'm sorry if I don't get to it right away. There's about, a good amount of people in this chat. I love you guys. I have about 120-ish people right now. Also, be sure to drop a like if you're enjoying the live stream. But I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can, so just bear with me. If you want your question expedited, just leave a super chat, and it'll be dropped, it'll be pushed to the top, essentially. L says, when you started, how did you get over the anxiety? So it was a couple things. One, I kind of had to make it happen. So a lot of the things as starting out as a mechanic or just, doing stuff as a DIY person is I had to make it happen because I was poor. I didn't have money. So I had to make it happen. I had to get to work the next day. I had to do some, it was more of like, I had to do it and it had to happen and I had to make it happen, So that was it. I had a lot of anxiety and I was scared I was going to break stuff. But I really just pushed myself to do things. Now, when I was out of the situations where I wasn't as poor and I still had anxiety, I just pushed through because I know it's going to be tough. It's going to be scary. But everybody starts somewhere. There's plenty of master mechanics that are beginners, So you kind of just got to get over that scary hurdle because everyone has anxiety when they're doing a job that they haven't done before. But just watch a bunch of YouTube videos, get references, go into the forums, check the forums, go into other videos. Just check everywhere, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Just get, just get a general feel. The more videos you watch on the thing that you're about to do, the more confident that you'll become. The more you'll work on cars, the more confident you'll become. The more you tackle on jobs that you haven't done before, the more confident you'll be in tackling the next job that you haven't done before. 90% of the time, us mechanics are experienced, even, mechanics that have been in the field for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. They'll tackle a job they haven't done before. There's thousands of cars out there that we haven't touched. There's Porsches that we've never touched. There's new Mercedes or Chevys or Buicks, whatever it may be. There's so many cars that we'll, come across that we've never worked on. So you're not alone in that, So just letting you know. How's it going, Booter? Hello to you too. What's the easiest? Naptown Ninja says, what's the easiest, newest car to do general maintenance on? I just did a video on it. It was a 2014 Hyundai Genesis. Really easy car to do maintenance on. Absolutely loved working on it. We have a $2 super chat from Zachary Raz Snake. Thank you, man. I really appreciate the super chat. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. He says, thanks for giving us DIY guys great info and tips. Man, thanks, bro. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate the love. Really appreciate the super chat. And I'm really happy that you joined the live stream. Happy to see you here, Zachary. Thanks again. Goober says, that's a funny name. I love it. Goober says, what cars, in your experience, have the highest priced consumable? Oh, wait. Sorry, guys. There's another super chat. I'll get back to your question. Enormous Cheese says, hi, Brian. I have a 2012 1.4 liter Chevy Cruze Turbo. Is it a bad car? I heard mixed reviews. Yeah, they can be pretty bad cars. The amount of times I've done engines on them it's pretty drastic. So they can be really bad cars. However, it's more about being, if you're going to have that car, be on top of the oil changes. Everybody, forgets to do oil changes, they'll push back the oil changes, and that will mess up the timing chain. Usually it's the timing chains on those that go bad, and they lock up the engine. They'll have a bad engine. They'll have they'll have knock. They'll have rod knock, whatever it may be. Be on time with the oil changes, and you'll be fine. All right, guys. Thanks so much for the super chats. I'm going to go in the order that the super chats came in. Thanks so much. But yeah, I hope that helps you out, Norman Steeds. Inherently, it can be a bad car, but if you're on top of the oil, you'll be fine. Trust me. Now, Jay has a $2 super chat. Really appreciate you, man. Thank you, bro. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks again, Norma C's. And Jay says, any tips for removing 370 rusted header bolts? Now, I would highly recommend using PB Blaster. Using PB Blaster, penetrating oil, Croil, or even, what's it called? Or even gear, what is it? Liquid wrench. It's going to help you out. Do that in a day or two advance. Let it really soak in. And then when you get to it, I know it's going to suck. If it's accessible and it's not too much in a tight spot, let the car heat up. Let the car heat up and then break those bolts loose, and it'll help you out a lot. However, if it's not in a tight spot, you don't really want to do that. I'd say wire brush or rusted header bolts really good. Wire brush are really well. Get in there nice and tight, and then it's going to help you out. You really want, if you're facing rusted fasteners, wire brush it really good and use plenty of penetration oil, and you're going to be fine. Trust me. All right, $20 super chat from Mark Larson. I really appreciate it, man. He says, you have saved me more than this. Thank you. Really appreciate it, man. You guys are awesome, especially you, Mark Larson, and everybody else who super chatted, and everybody that joined the live stream. I love you guys all. Thank you guys so much for the support. You guys are really awesome. So thank you guys so much for the super chats. And let me get back to the questions I was answering. Let me make sure hold on. I want to make sure I finish the question that I was in. Okay, so Goober's question was, what cars in your experience have the highest price consumables? Brakes, Etika, what's generally cheaper car brands to maintain? Cheaper car brands to maintain, in my opinion, are Honda, Toyota, Nissan is like, kinda. Nissan's pretty decent. It's like, I'm like on the edge for Nissan. Nissan can be pretty like, not bad, but it's, you know, they're cars that have those bad like CVTs and transmissions and all that stuff can be iffy. So transmissions from Nissan, I'm a little iffy on. But yeah, so Nissan, Mitsubishi can be good. However, you just want to make sure the Mitsubishis aren't rotted out because they rust very badly. Another cheaper car to maintain, in my opinion, guys, a lot of people hate it. Hyundai, I like Hyundai. Hyundai is very, they can be very reliable, especially the older Hyundais. I highly recommend them. My fiance has a Hyundai. It is a champ. I absolutely love it. But yeah, so those are generally cars too. They're nice. The highest consumables for other cars, I want to say, like, for like the sporty cars like BMW and Mercedes, they're going to go through tires a lot more. They're going to go through brakes a lot more. You know, a lot more power, a lot more, you know, they're going to consume the brakes and they're going to consume the tires. But yeah, you know, that's just off the top of my head, you know. But yeah, I hope that helped, man. What do you, Caleb says, what do you look for in terms of project cars if trying to get good value? I look for making sure, hi, Eliana. You're so pretty. Here you go. You are so cute. Sorry. I look for like in terms of okay, so for project cars, I look for making sure they're not rotted out. Make sure the frame's not rotted out, guys. When you're getting a project car, no matter how good of a deal it is, make sure the frame is not rusted out. No matter how good of a deal it is, if the frame's rotted out, throw it in the trash. It's no good. So make sure it has a good frame. Make sure the motor's solid. It's not, no rod knock. Make sure it's good. You know, if the timing chain and the timing belt need to be done, make sure you do it, you know, and drop the price for that. But I like looking for 80s cars, 2000 cars. Those are my favorite project cars, generally. But yeah, always make sure that you know, it has a good engine. So make sure it doesn't have any sludge buildup, and make sure that the chassis is not rotted out. Frank is watching from Canada. Really happy to have you here from Canada, man. All right. Sorry, guys. If I didn't get to your question, I definitely will get to it as quick as I can. Kendrick says, yo, Garrett Bryan, I watch all your videos every day. That's really cool to hear, man. Happy to have you here. That's really cool to hear, man. I really love that. Paul's Tour Review says, Kia and Hyundai throw rod bearings around 70 to 100K. 2-class accent suits, and the replacement engines are not better. Even the 3.0 liter engines have major issues. Honestly, around me, it's just usually user error. So a lot of that, I get that with Hyundai, and I get that with Honda. And generally, guys, in my opinion, it's just user error. A lot of people think these cars are bulletproof because they're a Hyundai, because they're a Toyota, because they're a, you know, again, Honda, because they're a Kia. In general, they won't. Usually the Kia and the Hyundai owners are people that never change the oil. So they'll throw rod bearings around that time because nobody changes the oils on those cars. Nobody. They always skip it. They'll go 15K past the thing. And I just always see it. All the times I see it, you know, those engines are locked up. They're the same people with the Chevys. The Chevy, you know, what was it? I just talked about it. A Chevy Cruze. So it's always the Chevy Cruze owners and the Hyundai owners where they lock up engines, and it's because they never changed the oil, or they had an oil leak and they never fixed it. So that's just my opinion. You know, you're probably very right about the class action lawsuits and all that stuff, but in my opinion, I just feel like everybody neglects these cars. So yeah, Daniel Phillips says, can you do my message? Sure. If you can, Daniel, drop it down below again, because I'm trying to find it, but I don't see it. So Daniel, if you could drop that question again, that would help, because I can't. Yeah, Daniel Phillips, please drop that question a bit again. I can't see it. But yeah, that would very help greatly if you could drop it. Let me see if I can find it in here. Sorry, guys. Questions get buried, so don't take offense if I don't see your question or answer your question. It's just everything gets buried so quickly. Okay, Daniel Phillips says, is it worth it to get... is it worth it... Or, yeah, I'm just talking too fast. Daniel Phillips says, is it worth me getting an engine rebuild or just getting a second-hand engine? It's the Ford Focus diesel, and the timing chain has stretched. So if you're saying if it's worth doing an engine rebuild versus getting a second-hand engine, personally, if you're doing it, I would just get a low mileage, because it's going to be expensive either way. If you can get a good deal on the engine, on a second-hand engine, as long as it's low miles, I'd rather you get a low miles engine and just swap it in. You're going to have a quicker time and easier time doing that. Engine rebuilds can take a lot more time. And, you know, if it's not done by a reputable shop, it's a nightmare. If you could get a good deal on the rebuild, then do it. However, I'd recommend just getting a second-hand engine that's very low miles from a very reputable, you know, place, and then do that. So regardless of which option you do, make sure it's reputable place. If it's being rebuilt, make sure it's reputable place. If it's you're getting a second-hand, reputable place and low miles. Mark J. Larson says, I have so much work on my own vehicles, I don't think I have time to work on other people's stuff. I was one of the ones that would rather be called. Really? That's crazy, man. I don't know why. I think I just, yeah, I can't, because I just don't love my hand. I hate when I can't feel my hands, especially in negative degree weather. And then, you know, I don't want to get frostbite, so it's like horrible. Much respect from Texas. We really appreciate your videos. Thanks, EC. Jay, thanks. I hope you're doing well as well. Scott says, love you, Brian. Been watching your tips and tricks for a few months. They're super useful. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, bro. All right. Daniel Phillips, no problem. Really happy to have you, you know, answer your question. And thanks for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Nobody wants to work on other people's car. Yeah, Alex, nobody does. Yeah. Mitsubishi is underrated. You have to keep up with their transmission fluid and filters, and it'll go sour. Yeah, that and making sure that the body isn't rusted. Chris says I work in the cold. Yeah, that sucks, Chris. For me, again, I can work in the cold. I just won't. I can't do negative degree weather. That's just my thing. I like being able to feel my hands, and I don't want to get frostbite. You know. I've worked in the cold a lot. I've done a clutch in negative degree weather because I had to get to work the next day. You know. I've done my fair share of cold. So, is Miata the answer? What's your question, slow boys? It's always answer, slow boys. Have you ever done an engine swap on the G37? How hard is it? It's I've done it on I forgot what year it was. It's not that bad. It could be definitely a lot worse. I like the G37s because their wiring harnesses aren't too bad. If I remember correctly, they disconnect in the engine bay. However, for some Nissans, they kind of go into the interior, but it's still kind of easy to disconnect. Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world, the G37s, in my opinion. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's the worst thing in the world. So I wouldn't be too, it's real drive, so it's not that bad, But it's definitely a lot more parts to disconnect from them. A lot, especially the axles. We got a super chat from Quentin Wilson. Thanks, bro. Really appreciate it, man. All right, he does 18 Accord 2.0, replacing the head gasket. You recommend replacing all seals? You recommend replacing all seals and other gaskets, intake gaskets in general. What's reusable? I recommend replacing all of them, man. Why I say this is because I've been in the situation where I was very, unfortunately poor, and I couldn't replace all the seals. So I was hoping, crossing my fingers, I can get away with not replacing some gaskets. Now, long story short, I replaced only what I needed. Here you go, honey. Here you go. Boop. Hold on one second. Here you go. Okay. No, you can't do that, honey. Sorry, my daughter wants to play with a light. I've been in a situation where I couldn't, where I tried to just replace the head gasket, and I ended up having to replace all the gaskets that I was avoiding doing. So, in my opinion, just replace them all. There's generally master engine kits where you can replace all the gaskets all at once. So, yes, replace all the gaskets, especially the intake gasket. It's going to help you in the long run, and you're going to be thanking yourself, and you won't be wasting time. So, I highly recommend you just replacing all the gaskets all at once. You're in there already, might as well do it. Miguel Ramirez says, what do you drive? What do you wish you drove? Miguel Ramirez, I drive a 2025 Honda Civic Type R in Boost Blue. Absolutely love the car. It's a magnificent daily, and I could have my daughter in the back seat in her baby seat. So I love it because I could have fun when I'm, on my way to work or just going out with the boys or with my beautiful fiance. And then I can, have the practicality of picking up my beautiful daughter as well when I have to pick her up or take her out to the beach or whatever it may be. So that's my daily. I have also a Mazda RX8, a 2004 Mazda RX8. I also have a 1989 Toyota Corolla Coupe, right-hand drive, from Japan. And I also have a 1989 Toyota Corolla USDM. So I have a good amount of cars, but my daily is a 2025 Type R. All right. Ezra says, how I can get good at car electronics? Practice, 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 and YouTube is how you're going to get a lot better at electronics with cars. Now, if you're talking about programming or if you're talking about just wiring in stuff, again, it's just all practice and watching the right videos to give you good tips and tricks on how to do them. But the more you do it, the more better you'll get. Mark J. Larson Outdoors says, please hit the thumbs up for the host. It's totally free. Yes. Thanks, Mark. Guys, if you're enjoying the live stream or if you're even in the live stream, be sure to smash that like button and help me. It really helps me out a lot. and be sure to drop any questions that you may have. Again, if I missed your question, if I haven't answered it yet, just drop it again, copy and paste your question, and I'll be happy to answer it. There's just a lot of questions coming in. There's about over 100 people in this live stream, so I'm just trying to get to it as quickly as I can. Obviously, super chats expedite it. It pushes it to the front so I can see it. So if you want to answer it quickly, that's how you do it. Now, Chip Boy says, are you the same guy behind the channel Tune for Speed? Yes, that's really cool that you say that. Yes, my first and original channel is Tune for Speed. Here, one second, guys. Hi, how's it going, honey? Hi. You tired? You tired? Okay. Hi, guys. Okay. A brief 2-minute intermission. Let me be right back. 1 second. Hi, kitty. I'm gonna get you to bed. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Okay. Give me like a 2 to 5 minute intermission, and I'll be back to answering your questions. But yes, I'm that guy, Chip Boy. I'll get right back to your question. Give me 2 to 5 minutes. Be right back. Okay, guys, one more minute. I'll be right back. 1 more minute. Okay, 1 minute. Be right back. Thirty seconds. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys. Thank you guys for. Oh God, thank you guys for waiting for me. I love you guys all. It's all right. Take your time. Thanks, museum. No rush, bro. It's your baby. Father first, brother. Take your time. Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys. You guys are all awesome. Yeah, you guys are really awesome. Thank you guys. Yeah, I just had to, help my daughter to bed and everything. So appreciate you guys so much. You guys are really awesome. Chid Boy's question was, am I the original? Am I behind Tune for Speed? Now, if you guys didn't know, that is my original YouTube channel. It's called Tune for Speed. And essentially, it was my introduction into YouTube. Essentially, I had a 1989 Toyota Corolla. I'm trying to see if I have the car near me. I don't have it near me, but I have a 1989 Toyota Corolla. And it's how I got into YouTube. I started making videos about, how to work on the 892 Toyota Corolla. Really cool car. And I made videos on and this and that. Eventually, I realized I had to expand and branch out. And, thanks to, one of my closest friends, he gave me the idea to essentially do that. And then that's when I created Gearhead Brian, which actually started out as Tune for Speed. Me and him brainstormed the name Gearhead Brian. And then here I am, helping you with tips, tricks on becoming a mechanic, working on cars, doing your own DIY work. So again, if you guys didn't know, essentially my first channel is Tuned for Speed. It's still up there. If you guys want to check out my old videos, it's up there. It's Tuned for Speed. But yeah, now you guys know. So all right, let me catch up to the questions. Car Wizard. Drew Ski says you got the most incisive mechanic videos that are straight to the point and on YouTube. Props, Brody. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, bro. I try to be as concise as possible. When I make videos, I make it in the intention of, hey, what's the quickest way that I can teach you guys a cool trick, or a cool tip, or how to do this install? I try to do it as quickly as possible because I know there's just so much fluff in everybody's video. I don't like leaving gaps and stuff like that. So, but yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. I try to get to the point as often as I can. How can I change the bite point on a manual? You generally, in my opinion, I don't know. I don't know if other cars are different, but generally you can't really change the biting point on cars, unless maybe I don't know. You know, maybe there's an aftermarket, you know, slave cylinder or not slave cylinder. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but from factory, not necessarily. There's not really a way to change it. Now, I'm sure there's aftermarket ways that you can do it. You know, obviously, and then changing your clutch makes it a lot heavier and this and that and blah blah. But changing the bite point's a bit different. Said boy says, being a warehouse worker in Florida, I'd much rather be in the cold over heat. That's understandable because you don't like the heat like that right now. Our free boot says I should do a collab with Chris Fex. LOL. That would be really cool. He's definitely one of my inspirations. So, and he is my inspiration. So, yeah, I definitely will. Once when I soon become very bigger than I am now on YouTube, me and him are definitely going to collaborate. Like, I guarantee it. Me and him, we'll make a video, we'll make it happen and stuff like that. So, I can't wait for that day. So just you guys watch out for it. It'll be an announcement and everything. So really cool. Owen says grab the camera for Lamar Jackson at it. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm grabbing it right now. Does this help? Is it like grabbing it like this helps you? Like that? Like that? Does that help you? I don't know. I don't know what that means, what you meant by that. I don't know who that is. But, yeah. Ran my 99 VW Golf with 2 quarts instead of 4.2 quarts. Did a U-turn one day and low oil light went on for a second, then off. Seems to be okay. Get my oil lab tested went up. What else? Been a year since. Oh, you should be fine. I mean, you should be fine. Yeah, it's bad and it's messed up. However, you fixed it quick, you're fine. As long as it's not ticking and doing this and that, most likely you're fine. As long as you corrected it, you're good. If you want, you could put oil stabilizer in it if it is making some ticking, but you're fine. If you want, for peace of mind, get it sent out, but I'm pretty sure it's very fine. There's people who ran lower on oil, what I mean? So at least you corrected the issue, Yeah, Ben Robinson, get a new clutch. It'll feel a lot different. It'll definitely feel a lot different, It'll feel either heavier or lighter, depending on what style clutch you get. It's up to you, But biting point-wise, like, it doesn't generally change. Like, as in, like, a dial or something. That's what I mean. Let's see. Oh, that's cool, Connor. I didn't know you could adjust the clutch pedals like on a Civic, on an old Civic. That's cool. Jesus says, my favorite car YouTube channel, I think. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, bro. Said boy says, no wonder I was looking for a 6 videos and I thought I instantly recognized your voice. That's crazy. Johnny Robinson says, would you ever do a car rebuild videos like Tarvis or Matt Armstrong? You'd be great at them. Thanks, bro. Yeah, I mean, definitely I will. Right now I just don't have the what's the word? I don't have a surplus amount of time. I don't have time on my side. Right now, I'm a full-time, full-time mechanic and a full-time dad. So it's even hard to make these videos right now and doing live streaming. But I would love to do entire rebuilds. I have plenty of cars that need that. I have an RX8 and I have an 89 Corolla. And I want to document those rebuilds. So I definitely will. Hopefully in the near future and hopefully even sooner. Let's see. Darren F says, if you are to get diagnostics program scanner, what would you recommend that's able to do mainly everything? Are you talking about just a scanner in general? If you want a scanner in general that can do a decent amount, I'd say Autel's Maxicom MK808S. That is awesome. I use that for a majority of things. I love that scan tool. It's a little bit up there. It's $380 free on Amazon, but awesome scan tool. Absolutely love using it, guys. An awesome tool, awesome scan tool. Love it. Jesus Fernando says, mechanic apprentice here. Love learning stuff from you. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, bro. Props to you. John says, can you just send it with an impact for control arm bolts? Yeah, you can. Most of the time, yeah. If it's a very rusty car, I'd just be aware, because sometimes you can snap a bolt if your impact's that strong. But most of the time, yeah. Yeah, like 95% of the time, yeah, you could do that, John says, entering my second year as a tech, and I keep making bonehead mistakes, thinking of quitting. Don't quit, John. It's only your second year, bro. You got this, man. Bro, if you don't think I made bonehead mistakes on year 2, even year 3, you're definitely mistaken, bro. Because I've made a lot of mistakes, especially, year 2, 1, 2, 3, and I'd get frustrated. I'm like, bro, I'm a horrible mechanic, or I'm horrible at working on cars and this and that. Get that out of your head, bro. You're gonna make mistakes, and even if it's something stupid or you think is stupid, just sink it into your head and learn from it. Just learn from it. That's all it is. Everyone makes mistakes. Master mechanics make mistakes. I make mistakes. I sometimes make very stupid mistakes, and I beat myself up, but I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna make that again. So guys, just, you got this, man. Don't quit. Don't quit. If you quit, you're gonna think back, what if I kept going? You know what I mean? So don't quit, bro. You got it. Would it be, Nathan says, would it be wise to keep a 1969 F100 to give my kids in like 20 years, or sell it because I need the money? Bro, if you need the money, sell it. If you really need the money, just sell it, bro. It's nice to have the idea of, hey, I'll give them this car in 20 years, but bro, if you need the money, sell it. Forget about it. Some things are more important, and you and your if you have kids right now, that's more important. For me, I absolutely love my 1989 Toyota Corollas, my 1980 Toyota Corollas, but if push comes to shove, I'm gonna sell it. And my goal is to keep the one that I have, so my kids are of age, and they can drive it, or I can take them on rides in them. But if push comes to shove, I'm gonna sell it. Like, for sure, 99%. If it's not because of that, I'll never sell it. But other things are more important, So don't worry about it, All right. Sorry, guys. There's a lot of questions going on. Thanks, Future. Appreciate it. Chris R says, I purchased a no-spill coolant kit. Recommended. Awesome, man. That's really cool. Set up, I can't pronounce your name. Set up an Amazon affiliate page for a tool you use for fans. Appreciate it, man. I definitely will make affiliate page. I think you're talking about the affiliate, the influencer page. Is that what you're talking about? Does the Autel you recommend need a subscription? So the Autel that I recommend, I believe, comes with a 2-year free update, like completely free, where the subscription, you don't need to pay anything. After that, I believe you have to pay. But what I've done, okay, P.S. What I've done is just make a new email, and you're good. So once it expires, just make a new email, and you'll be fine. You know, that's what I've done. I don't know if they changed the policy yet where they're like, no, you can't do that. But that's what I've done. I've just changed the account on auto, put in it, and I was good. So technically, it's like about a year or two of the free subscription. After that, they charge you. But if you're smart, just change your email, change the login, all that stuff, and you're good. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, bro. That's why I recommend you guys it. You know? I gotta save $1 somewhere. Victor Garcia says, you still made me save money and time. Thanks. No problem, man. Okay, Eduardo says, Brian, my piston and my caliper won't release when removed. Is it my hose or the caliper? Should I bleed it and open the bleeder to check? So I would recommend opening the bleeder or taking off the banjo bolt and compressing the caliper. If it compresses, then the caliper is fine. If it doesn't, then you know the caliper's bad. But sometimes when you try to compress it and you have the brake hose, you know, it's sometimes the brake hose that's locked up, you know? So yeah. Dude, that auto tip is dope. Thanks, Son. You know, I'm really happy to help. Can you recommend a cheap floor jack brand that won't break our pockets or take our lives? Yes, I can highly recommend you one. Let me tell you it. It's Harbor Freight. Now, the one I use is, I believe, the two-tom, like, slim profile one. I believe I bought it for about $120 or $40. Absolute tank, guys. I've used that for about 2 to 3 years right now. Absolutely awesome. It's awesome. It's not the aluminum one. It's a normal one. Awesome. I highly recommend it. It's an amazing jack, and it's a slim profile, and it gets the car pretty high up off the ground. Highly recommend it. Definitely get it, guys. What's your recommendation to burp engine coolant / antifreeze? Jack up the car or put it on a hill facing up, and then bleed the, open the cap, the coolant radiator cap, and then fill it up with coolant all the way, and then turn on the car and let it run. Give it some gas. Turn on the heat a little bit on a low heat setting. Give it some gas and let it go. So that's the best thing you can do. Park on a hill, point the car up, or jack the car up on on your jack, and you'll be fine. So that's my number one tips for that. Thoughts on 2004, 2006 Cadillac Escalades? I personally never worked on them, but if you're getting one, make sure it's up to its maintenance, on the timing and everything on that. And the oil leaks, make sure it doesn't have any major oil leaks. Is it on Niet? Says Auto Maxicom NK808S or AS is what he mentioned. Yeah, I mentioned the Maxicom MK808S, but I don't know what the AS is. I don't know if that's a Bluetooth version. I don't know what the AS is. I've never personally had the AS. Trip says, hey, Brian, glad to finally be here. Yeah, really happy to have you here, man. Opinion on Mazda RX8 pre-2009. My boy Ben, I have a 2004 Mazda RX8. They're good. They're nice. So I highly recommend them. Yes, get it, man. Just keep in mind, most likely you're gonna need to do maintenance on it. Especially if they're up there in miles. So yeah, it comes with the territory, but once you get the maintenance done, like replacing, usually it's not the apex seals that go out on RX8s, it's the coolant seals. So once you get the coolant seals replaced, you're golden, bro. Generally the things that go bad on the RX8 is the coolant seals, the coils, the ignition coils. And keep in mind, for the pre-2009, they came with very weak starters. So get the newer updated starter and get a very strong battery, like a 700 cca battery. Get a strong battery, and it'll help it start a lot better. You won't struggle as much. Hope it helps. Big Steppa says, hey, what's up, man? How's it going, bro? Chris R says, what type of watch you wearing? Thanks, man. Thanks. Appreciate it, bro. Shit, this little thing. it's just an OLEDs watch. It's, you know, not a big deal. Not a Rolex. Not a fuck. What you call it? What's the word? Not like one of those big brands. So nothing to go about. Thoughts on the GR Corolla? My brother wants a GR Corolla. He has a Corolla of that same year, the hatchback, that he souped up. It looks awesome. Has a carbon fiber hood. It's on air suspension. Beautiful car. But yeah. Thanks, Ben Robinson, for the super chat, bro. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, awesome car. GR Corolla, it's awesome. All-wheel drive, 3-cylinder turbo. Awesome car. Absolutely love it, you know? It's a good daily driver. It's a good car to have fun. I love the Type R a lot better, but the GR Corolla is really cool as well. So I recommend it. You know, it's not a bad car to get. Of course, I just love the Type R better. But you know, with the GR Corolla, you're getting the all-wheel drive. You're getting the manual 6-speed. You're getting turbo. You're getting 4 seats. You know, not as spacey on the interior. A little bit more like basic in the interior. But it's really cool. I love it. I like the GR Corolla. Really glad you caught my live stream, CRAP. Crap. But yeah, thanks, man. Glad to have you in the live stream, bro. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to catch up with the comments. Okay, Desi says, how to help with the 2003 Jetta garbage transmission. He said it's an automatic and it's going bad. Ugh. The best thing you could do is try to change out the fluid with OEM fluid and get an OEM transmission filter and pray. But most likely you might just have bad clutches at this point, but we'll see. You know, try changing the fluid with OEM fluid and getting some an OEM filter, and you might save it, you know? You might save it. Okay, Johnny says, what's your opinion about the future of cars? Will it go full EV, or are engines here to stay? In my opinion, engines are here to stay. EV is not sustainable, in my opinion. It's not really going to happen at a large scale. It's just too inconvenient. EV is better for those people who are randomly have EVs. That's fine. Everybody can randomly have an EV. But the moment everybody has an EV, it's going to be a problem. There's going to be a long charging time. There's going to be a long, just too many people trying to charge, and you're going to be wasting too much time. It's not convenient. It's convenient for people who have a home. They could charge it at their house, in their garage. It's fine. But charging docks and stations, all that, it's just crap. It's just not going to happen. So right now, at least right now, it's not practical. So for now, engines are here to stay. And we don't have a lot. Yeah, I agree, Chris. We don't have a power grid for all EV vehicles. I agree. Yeah, I agree, Martin. And Saudi Arabia will lose a huge market. Juan says, love your content, bro. Shout out from Texas. Let's go. Woo. Art says, I'm at a dealership, but I want to do side job. What's the best approach for starting mobile mechanic work? Talk to all of your family and friends and be like, hey, guys, I work on cars. Do you know anybody who needs mechanical work done? Do you know anybody who needs their brakes done, their spark plugs, their maintenance? Word of mouth is the best thing that you can do when it comes to starting as a mobile mechanic. That's the best thing that you can do. Now, if you're going to start as a mobile mechanic, make sure you have a car that can be capable of carrying all your tools. Make sure you have a good jack. You know, I used the Harbor, when I was a mobile mechanic, I used the Harbor Freight 2-ton jack. It's a little bit heavy, but it's not that bad, and it was very helpful. Having good jack stands, having all the good tools that you're going to need out on the road. And if you're going to be a mobile mechanic, make sure you get foam pads for the ground so you can lay on concrete softly and you're not going to be hurting your knees and your back kneeling on concrete. You want to take care of your body, and it's going to take care of you. All right, let's see. No problem, man. No problem, Art. What's your worst injury working on a vehicle? Okay, I'll tell you my most recent one. So if you guys didn't know, I have a scar right here. You see this right here? So this scar is from a, I believe it was a 2016 Dodge Charger. I was dropping the exhaust on it, the muffler. It's a big muffler, really big muffler, heavy thing. I was getting, disconnecting the muffler at each of the brackets, and one of the brackets at the front was completely rotted out. And when I was loosening one of the brackets in the rear, the front bracket dropped and broke, and the entire exhaust came down and it fell, it fell to my face, and I caught it. But when I caught it, it's like it spun in my hand, and it hit me right here in the face. And thankfully, it wasn't that deep, but it really, it like kind of indented into my face and kind of left a mark. So every time I work on cars, it kind of reminds me here that you got to be safe. I'm glad it happened here, because guess what, guys? This could have been my eye. I could have lost an eye. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. Another thing, yes, exactly, Matthew. I'm glad it wasn't my eye. Another thing, one of my worst ones. This one wasn't that bad. When I was working on a car, it was in my younger years. I was working on a car. I was pulling the breaker bar down. I'm like trying to get the bolt, and the bolt snapped or it broke, and it broke loose, and the breaker bar hit me on my front tooth and shattered the tooth right in half. It broke the tooth in half. Thankfully, it didn't hit a nerve, so we were able to repair the tooth. So my teeth, they're nice, they're fine, but I broke a tooth with a breaker bar. So that's how, I learned my lesson not to pull towards my face. I learned when I was young, so yeah. Keep up the great work, greets from Netherlands. Thanks, man. Bully says, have you tried the Crayola crown trick on taking stuck fasteners? Not yet, but I plan on doing it. All right. All right, guys. So I'll give it about 7 more minutes, and then I'm gonna have to hop off the live stream. But start dropping all of your questions, and I'll answer as many questions in the next 7 minutes that I can. Okay. Chris R says, do you recommend a new Toyota Corolla or a new Honda Civic? Honestly, I love the Honda Civics. The new ones are getting a lot of value out of it. Whether it's the base model Honda Civic, the hybrid, or the SI, or the Sport. Highly recommend the new Honda Civics, in my opinion. The new Corollas are cool too. If you're gonna get a new Corolla, get the new hatchback. It's more practical and it's fun. My brother has one. They're nice. But I love the new Hondas. They're getting a lot of value, and they're very affordable. So I highly recommend you getting it. Oh, snap. Gearhead Brown, what's up, homie? How's it going, man? All right. Are ASCs still relevant? In my opinion, not really, unless you're going to a dealership or going to a shop that really requires it. But no, in my opinion, ASC is not really required. It's not relevant as much anymore, in my opinion. Back then, it used to be relevant. That's why I got it. Now, in my opinion, it's not really. Not a lot of shops don't care if you have ASC certifications. It's a plus if you have it. They'll pay you more if you have it, but it's not required. But a lot of higher tier shops make sure they want to make sure that you have it. So certain dealerships and higher tier shops will want it. Tips on how to become a BMW tech. Have a very good scan tool and have a lot of good patience. Now the cool thing is BMWs are I love how they're engineered for most of their parts, but there's some parts that are annoying to get to. Like 80% of their parts are really like straightforward, they're really cool, they're easy to get to. But a lot of times some stuff are hard to get to. So you gotta have patience as a BMW tech. And you got to realize you're going to have to deal with a lot of diagnostics, especially the older BMW. You got to do a lot of diagnostics with why won't the iDrive work? Why is the iDrive's firing up, but this isn't firing up? The traction control is firing up, but this is. So you got to get really good at diagnostics for a BMW tech, and you want to be very patient as a BMW tech. Okay, so that's my best advice for being a BMW tech. I used to have a BMW as well. Before you leave, thank you so much for all you do. Thanks, Trev. Appreciate it, man. Forsaken says, been watching your reels for years. Great stuff, man. How long have you been in the automotive field? So officially working in the automotive field, I've been working for about like 7 years, almost going to 8, but 7 years I've been working on cars officially. What 5 cars you wouldn't buy from 2015 to 2025? Oh, that's hard. I wouldn't buy Mitsubishi at all. Don't touch Mitsubishi. 2015 and up, don't touch. Gosh, they're horrible. Do not buy Mitsubishi. I can't think of anything else. Personally, I don't like Chevy. Maybe if you get the sport Chevys like the Corvette, the SS, the Camaro, stuff like that, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head. But yeah. Johnny says, what's your favorite car of all time? Mine's a 1969 Shelby Mustang GT500 and an Illinois, of course. Mine is a 1999 Nissan Skyline GTR in Bayside Blue. Beautiful car. Love it. My dream car by far, my absolute dream car. And it's the same age as me. Born in 1999, so I'm 26 years old. But yeah, my dream car. Now for muscle cars, my dream car is a 1969 Dodge Charger in black. Love it. Beautiful car. All right. We got 2 minutes. I'll answer some more. Getting into the BMW tech field, just start at a BMW dealership. That's the best way to go about it. Or some, like my school had a program to get into like certain dealerships where they have you study what, how to say it. They have programs in the school to, help you prepare for becoming a tech or a mechanic at that dealership. So in my school, we had a Mini Cooper program, but there's some schools that haven't. Oh, no, we had a Mini Cooper program and we had an Audi program. So once you graduate, you're guaranteed a spot into that dealership. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's another way to get into it with schooling. All right, guys, I'll answer like 1 or 2 more questions and then I got to bounce. Let's see. I see you first. I did. Favorite? Okay, I'll answer these 2 and I'll be done, guys. Justin says, what's your favorite musician of all time? That's a hard one. That's a hard one. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll just say most recently, Bad Bunny. I'm Puerto Rican, Dominican. I love Bad Bunny's music, So I'd say recently just Bad Bunny as a recent artist. Bad Bunny. So I'll answer 1 more question and I gotta bounce. You're the best. What's one thing? Okay. Touch says, what's the one thing you dislike about your Type R? The one thing I dislike is that I didn't get it sooner. That's the one thing I dislike, honestly. Honestly, I don't really have anything that I dislike about it. I really don't have any complaints. The only thing I dislike is not some of the Type R did, is that it didn't come with PPF. I wish my Type R came with PPF, man. That would have been perfect. I would have been so happy if it came with PPF. But anything like Type R specific, not really. A lot of people complain that it was too quiet from factory. I'm actually okay with it because I have a beautiful daughter and I don't want her to be in too loud of a car, so I like it. I honestly don't have any complaints from factory. Oh, one thing that I do wish that they did is that they had parking sensors that would beep when you got close to the front of something. Because some newer cars do that. When you get close to hitting the curb in the front, it beeps. When you're close to something on the side, it beeps. Oh, here, 1 second. when you get close to something, it beeps. So I just wish they had more parking sensors. But yeah, Orlando says, Type R, what? What year? I have a 2025 Honda Civic Type R. So yeah, it's in Boost Blue. Love it. Absolutely love it. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining the live stream. I'm really happy to have been here with you guys. It was such a blast. Again, I do this every single Friday. So be sure to join the next live stream next week. I do this every Friday at 6:30 p.m. And yeah, really happy to have you guys on the live stream. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thanks for all the comments, all the love. Be sure to drop a like button on the way out. Again, thanks again for all the super chats. And thank you guys for the love. I couldn't be here without you guys. I really love you guys all. And I really hope you guys have a great weekend. So see you here next Friday. Don't be late. 6:30 p.m. sharp most of the time. Sharp. And thanks, Orlando. I'm glad the advice helps you. And thank you guys so much. I love you all. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks again. And I hope it helped. Peace, guys.